What a run it's been for stocks. The quiet grind higher pushed the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the small cap Russell 2000 to record highs today. And on this Friday, which is also the last day of the week, the month, the quarter, the Dow posted its first 8-quarter win streak in, yes, 20 years. The S&P 500 recorded its 6th straight month of gains, and that's saying something because historically the time between May and October tends to be the worst period for stocks historically. So let's get right to the numbers, shall we? Today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 23 to 22,405. NASDAQ was up 42, its 50th record close this year. And the S&P 500 rose 9. For the quarter, all of the major indexes had solid gains, as you see right there, about 4% or better. So what drove the gains and what may happen in these final 3 months of the year? Bob Pisani takes a look.
U.S. stocks hit record highs this quarter. Stock markets in Japan and China hit 52-week highs. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong, 2-year highs. What's driving this turnaround? Here's what's important. Bulls are betting that slow but persistent global growth, coupled with tax cuts in the U.S., will keep the markets at or near record highs in the fourth quarter. Now, the global economy is continuing to expand. Growth sectors like banks, energy, materials, and industrials all outperformed in September. The trend is expected to spill over into the fourth quarter. We're expecting double-digit growth in industrials and material earnings, and energy is also expected to keep rallying, though not as much as it was in the prior quarters. Major hurricanes had a modest impact on earnings for airlines and retail and insurers in the third quarter, but recovery efforts will likely boost sectors like materials and autos in the fourth quarter. And tax cuts and technology will also be factored in. Tech's been the market leader all year long, up about 25%, but the biggest bet is on semiconductor earnings, which are set to jump 25% in the fourth quarter. Major growth from a number of companies, including Micron. One big wild card, Apple, whose earnings are expected to grow 12% in the fourth quarter, but the stock slid 6% in September as doubts grew about how many would be buying the new Apple 8 and the Apple 10. Speaking of wild cards, North Korea and the Federal Reserve are the two other big risks out there for the fourth quarter. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Bob Pisani at the New York Stock Exchange.